Hello all and welcome to the next video here in the Onion Man's Rooftop 2 at a cow caravan of treasure and sometimes barter. The streak continues as it always will. And we are taking a look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Swamp Thing. This is specifically from the Rebirth Swamp Thing, so kind of a hit and miss of a book worth of Swamp Thing, but you know, it is what it is. I love Swamp Thing. I wanted to make this video on its own instead of just doing it as a short, so I could kind of express my love of Swamp Thing. I've mentioned it before in some more recent videos how much I like a lot of lower secondary characters, and Swamp Thing is one of those. Swamp Thing is legitimately probably one of my top 5 favorite comic book characters, and I just don't think he's ever gotten the proper respect or love he deserves, whether it was Alan Moore's run, which is fantastic, even if you go before that with Lynn Wein. Lynn Wein did great. Alan Moore really took that character in that book to a completely different level. His early appearances in Hellblazer. I like Scott Snyder's run during the New 52. I think it was one of the only good books of the New 52 was Swamp Thing. I haven't been too big on more recent developments of Swamp Thing. I thought Rom V's book was lackluster, which stinks because I like his Detective Comics run, but I just did not like his Swamp Thing stuff before that. So it's kind of one of those things where I really like Swamp Thing, and I just like to see Swamp Thing get treated properly. This figure looks really good, but I do have some issues with it, just kind of looking at it, and plus it being a McFarlane figure makes me really worried. Anybody who knows me knows I have a very, very love-hate relationship with McFarlane, and yeah, I'm not afraid to just sit there and tell you how sometimes McFarlane just outright sucks with these DC Multiverse figures. Their mega figures, for the most part, have been absolute trash as well. Not so much in the sense that they're bad. I know I just said trash. Maybe trash wasn't the right word, but hit and miss. They're really big and they're bulky and they look great, but then they're very hollow, light, and can't stand. The Bane figure was probably so far the best one of their mega figures they've done. And Swamp Thing, for the most part, looks really good here. I would like to find the alternate version that comes with the antler head, like the swamp antlers. I hate that McFarlane wants to think that alternate heads are just, let's just throw that in there and it's a variant. It's a chase variant. No, that sucks. It's like when they do it with their masked figures, here's Bloodsport and Peacemaker from the Suicide Squad movie. Oh, and here's the the unmasked variants, and then the unmasked versions are absolute trash and don't even look like the actors. And they did that with poor Swamp Thing here. You have this normal Swamp Thing, and then if you want the cool one that has the deer antlers, I think it was like a GameStop exclusive or something stupid like that, and it became hard to find. But we got the normal one, and he looks pretty cool. So, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look here. There's the back of the box if you want to take a look. This was an interesting wave. For all the wrong reasons. I think that's like the White Knight Batman. You've got that one, was it Shriek from Batman Beyond? This Etrigan the Demon was cool, but I'm not a big fan of the New 52 armor look. I wish it was a more classic Etrigan. And then we got King Shazam, aka the Shazam Who Laughs, which was just dumb. That whole story is dumb. If you're a fan of the Dark Knight's metal stuff, I'd like to know why. What appealed about it? I can get the idea and the concept being cool, but when you start making all these different, this Who Laughs, this Who Laughs, this Who Laughs, Dr. Manhattan Who Laughs, what purpose does that serve? What good does that do for the comic book industry? I mean, and here we go. Off my soapbox. I hope the figures are good. I really do. I actually kind of like one before this. One of the last Swamp Thing figures that came out was the DC Direct Swamp Thing. There was a DC Direct Swamp Thing that came around in the middle of the New 52. And I think it was based off the New 52 style because it was a much more simplified looking Swamp Thing. I bought that figure. In my town there used to be a Hastings video and bookstore and all that stuff, CDs, everything you wanted. And it went out of business much like Blockbuster, but it lasted a lot longer than Blockbuster. On they had a whole 4-day weekend liquidation sale. So everything was like 75% off. It was all awesome. I was not able to go the first couple of days when all the good stuff got snatched up real quick. I was able to go the last day of the sale, and in one of the bins was that DC Direct Swamp Thing. So I ended up getting the DC Direct really cool Swamp Thing figure for like $4. It was amazing. Because people don't have love and respect for Swamp Thing, and you should. Hashtag Swamp People for the win. I like Man Thing and Marvel. Yeah, if you're like a swampy monster, Toxic Avenger, Toxic Crusader style especially. Oh, there's like a lot of tape on this guy. Hold on. He's like taped onto the card. Oh, okay. I got him out of the box. He's got twist ties. Hold on, though. We got everybody's favorite accessory in a McFarlane toy. Oh, those both came off really easy. Nice. A card. I hate those. I really hate the cards. And the fact that they consider it an accessory is just trash. I do like the stands. McFarlane's must know that their figures have bad quality control and bad feet and ankle joints and hard time standing, because they give every figure a stand, and I actually like that. So good on McFarlane for being self-aware. I know that's probably not even the point, but still. Again, twist ties be damned. I have scissors. Let's get them open. Nice. I think that's the only one. It's the only one I can see. Right out the gate, he's got an alternate hand that's kind of like this like spiked sword scythe hand. Like he turns his hand into it and uses it. Decent for what it is. Okay, we got him out of the box. Ooh. He's big, he's beefy, he's Swamp Thing. Okay, before I get into him, I want to take a look at this real quick. Being fair here, there's really good detail on it. I like that they actually did the like shades of brown with the green, and actually made it look like there's like wood and bark on it. It's a nice touch. In addition to like the sliminess of the green, you got like the wooden aspect of the brown tree bark kind of aspects with all the ivy and vegetation growing on it. It's really nice. It's a very nice contrast there. We got Swamp Thing himself. He is big, he is beefy, he is Swamp Thing. Oh, wow. One of his knees is very loose, one is not. But for McFarlane at this point, what should I expect? Trying to get them all straightened out here. There we go. First off, we got the head. It's really nice. They actually put black under the eyes. A lot of figures for Swamp Thing forget to do that. He's kind of got this evil grimace kind of going on here. Like a snarling look. I like that they made his head like to where it's being pulled back by the swamp and all that. So you can see the facial features. They gave him the rounded like cheeks and jowls or whatever with no nose. That's a very classic Swamp Thing design. So glad they kept that on there. The detail on him is fantastic. I'm not going to lie. McFarlane nailed this one. With the detail, the different browns, like throughout the legs, and the different greens. It's much like that. You can see like leafy stuff on here. It's kind of flabby, so don't let that rip off. All the way down to like all the ivy and like vines growing into him. You can even see like the kind of fungi of like holes and stuff within the actual mold itself. The other side, instead of like a leaf, it's more like a bark, like a tree bark. And then on the back, You got the little spinal things going and some more leaf vegetation. He's got swamp ass, literally. It just looks like a wooden seat tied to him. The feet look cool. Like the toes are like vines or tree roots. So really nice. It's just a very good overall figure. And he stands, thankfully. Oh, that's so nice. A couple of things with this figure. If I do have any issues, I guess. I wouldn't say he's too big. I saw some people complaining he's too big. Swamp Thing can kind of grow and turn into different things, so it doesn't really bother me. One complaint I will agree with, I don't think he really needed these like clawed Freddy Krueger hands going on here. They look kind of cool. I mean, I'll give him that. But I think these would have worked better as just alternate hands, and you could have thrown something better in there, like some closed-fisted hands, because these just look a little bit too menacing. And Swamp Thing tends to be like don't get me wrong, he will defend the green with everything he can, but I feel like he's a character who tends to try to shy away from that type of thing a lot of times. So I think some normal hands would have benefited this a lot better, and then you could have had these as a swap out instead of just that scythe accessory. But there he is in all his glory. Sorry, the head's cut off because he's so tall. And he does stand well. This knee is a little bit loose. This one's pretty tight and nice. But it's not bad. It doesn't affect the way he stands or anything. So there you go. Yeah, overall, it's a fantastic figure. This is probably... Ooh. I'm going to make a bold statement here. This is for sure the best mega figure McFarlane has released in the Multiverse line, by far. Just down to the detail, he's got butterfly joints on the shoulders. He's got the double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. I'm pretty sure he's got the elbow swivel too, right? No, but he's got bicep swivel, so there you go. Everything you want in articulation. They're still using rubber for the cod pieces, which I don't like, but it's not too noticeable here, and it blends really well. So definitely easily the best mega figure McFarlane has ever released. And I'm going to go take it a step further. Thankfully, this one appears to... My Swamp Thing does not have very many quality control issues. I ordered mine right off the Big Bad Toy Store, and it came in. There doesn't seem to be very many quality control issues, which is nice, and such a good change of pace for McFarlane. So, outright, this might be a little bit of a bold statement. I'm going to say this is the best DC Multiverse figure McFarlane has done at all. Mega figure aside. I know, like, I always joke about, like, the Spawn figures are usually pretty good, although that clown figure was kind of disappointing. And all that stuff. But just strictly Multiverse, DC Multiverse. I'm going to throw it out there that this Swamp Thing figure is the best figure McFarlane has done for the Multiverse line. All the way down to the details. Like, it's just really good. So, yeah. Nice. Hopefully I can find that antler head version, because I think it'd be cool to have both. And maybe some alternate hands, but, like, those are minor things, to be fair. Yeah, he's great. This is a fantastic figure. I like it a lot. Yeah, I'm going to give McFarlane a massive, big, well-deserved thumbs up on this one. He's very good. I love Swamp Thing, and I love this figure. This is a fantastic figure, and it's going to look good on any shelf displayed for Swamp Thing. So, yeah, they got this one right, thankfully. It's probably the one I wanted them to get right the most, especially after the disappointment of so many of them. I'm so happy this one was, like, almost perfect. So, yeah, big thumbs up. And that's it for this video. If you liked the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. You don't have to if you do not want to, but I appreciate anybody who does. And yeah, this is proof that I don't hate McFarlane all the time. I just hate them most of the time. So there you go, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.